So we're going to play a game of pretend, and we're going to pretend that the comic companies gave us free reign over whatever franchise or character we wanted. We could play around with any title. The only limit given to us is the limits of our imagination. Now that does raise the question, just what would we do? So sit back, relax, enjoy, and we're going to tell you. So this week we're going to tackle the Spider-Man franchise. Now, this is a reboot, okay? We're not saying that what's in the comics are good or bad. That's up to you to decide. All this is saying if they gave us the franchise, these are the ideas and these are the changes that we would make to the story. Now, once again, for those who are new, this is all written by my brother, Chef Jack. I am Englentine, and I'm going to be narrating. Look, there's no need to rehash Peter's origin. I mean, let's be real. If you read comics at all, you know the story behind Spider-Man. And let's face it, with all the movies and everything, even people who don't read comics know the origin of Spider-Man. So, we're joining this story already in progress. Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. Let's face it, it's second only to Batman. I mean, he's had some really fantastic villains over the years. They're all colorful, larger than life. Most of them are animal-based for some reason. And they've got a wide range of backgrounds and origins themselves. And their motivations, a lot of scientists, but they do vary. Not all of them are out to take over the world, and not all of them started out as one of Peter Parker's friends or mentors. Some of them, after all, are just thugs who won the superpowers lottery one day, and then decided to use their powers to rob banks. Sure, of course, we're going to be bringing up the classics, you know, the Green Goblins. The Hobgoblin will be showing up. Of course, also Kraven, Vulture, Mysterio, Shocker, Electro, Chameleon, Venom, and so on, so on, so on. But we actually want to dig a little deep. We want to go to the hidden tracks of Spider-Man's enemies, the ones you see very rarely. Some of the villains who may actually be seen as a joke nowadays, but in the hands of a good writer, they can be so much more. Such as the B-list villains like the Swarm, or the Spot, who I actually thought he kind of had a cool superpower when I was a kid. I wouldn't mind seeing the Beetle get another chance and a little revamp like they tried to do in the Ultimates. And thanks to Fred Himbeck, one of my favorite D-list Spider-Man villains is the Fly. I always liked him. I liked his designs. I liked the fact that he should be as fast as Spider-Man, let's face it, and as strong. I know he got a gritty revamp, and I'm just saying, you know, done right, the Fly could be a really good villain. He's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, and for a reason. Now, for the most part, Spider-Man is a street-level hero. Spider-Man's the kind of hero to stop bank robbers and thugs, to keep thieves from escaping, and he rescues people from burning buildings. And while on occasion Spider-Man does save all of New York, he very rarely saves the entire planet. He leaves that kind of thing to the Avengers, and we're going to have a little more on the Avengers later. Spider-Man's local focus is a great opportunity to tell tighter focused stories that don't necessarily have world-ending consequences. Having Spider-Man battle his villains, gangbangers, and low-level criminals keeps the stakes relatable and gives us smaller, more personal stories. Just because the world isn't in danger doesn't mean that Peter's world isn't in danger. Peter Parker, everyman. Keep in mind that the important things in Peter's life tend to clash, and he's often torn between living his personal life and living his superheroic one. At least it was that way during his best years. Making Peter Parker a billionaire CEO was a mistake, and I am so glad that it's rumored they're going to retcon that. Bringing him back down to earth, that just makes him a more sympathetic character. We root for him because no matter what, he perseveres. We see in him us. He endures. And on those rare occasions, he gets a clear and unquestioned win. We share in his victory because we've been along for the ride, and we have seen the problems he's overcome and experienced some of those same problems in our own lives. And Peter Parker will be a geek again. Comfortable around those who know him, yet uncomfortable around the strangers, because Peter Parker was always intended to be a social outcast. He was shunned by the other kids in school and is pushed around by those around him as an adult. So when he's Spider-Man, he has a way of striking back against the world that has treated him like crap. And this makes him relatable to anybody out there who's felt like an outsider themselves.
Sup, guys? Wait a minute. You guys aren't the real Avengers. I can tell Hulk gives it away.
Something I'm glad that's never been lost on a lot of writers is the fact that Peter Parker's kind of a genius. Yeah, he created his own web fluid. Now, that doesn't mean that you're incredibly smart about everything, but it does mean that you're incredibly smart. And one thing that, or a quote from a very smart friend of mine is, one great thing about being a genius is you get all the jokes. Smart people are funny. What you gonna do?
You have a metal arm? That is awesome, dude.
Number 7. Gwen Stacy. Nope. No, I'm not reading this. Maybe later, but not now. I'm not reading this. Remember this crap? Yeah. Gone. Nobody likes One More Day. As a matter of fact, it's absolutely despised, and on all the fallout that came after it, too. So yeah, Peter Parker, Mary Jane Parker will be together, just as they should be, happily married most of the time, just like any other marriage, and the parents of a cute red-headed daughter. Because right now, the best Spider-Man title out there is Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Now, we don't have to go so far as to make Mary Jane a superhero the way they did, but everything else is included. I mean, there are no just middle-class schlub superheroes in comics. They're all reporters, scientists, billionaires. Spider-Man's a billionaire right now. Seriously, the number of just dudes who live in the suburbs are low. And if there's one superhero who'd be a really cool dude from the suburbs with a family, it would be Spider-Man. Next, the Black Cat will be a constant background presence. Now, Felicia Hardy, she's a good character. She just is. She exists as sort of a mirror image to Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man, she dons a costume and lives the life of an adventurer because of the legacy of a father figure. And like Spider-Man, she revels in the power and freedom such a life gives her. However, unlike Spider-Man, she uses her abilities to pursue a life of crime. And in this version of Spider-Man, she's going to be Catwoman to Peter's Batman. Sure, Felicia likes Peter. Sure. They have a good time on the rooftops of New York, and every once in a while, Felicia will help Peter out. But Felicia is still a thief. The Black Cat represents temptation to Peter. She's not only physically attractive, but her lifestyle is attractive also. So she's going to be the road not traveled for Peter and will occasionally be the cause of some friction in the marriage of Peter and MJ.
She's definitely stirred up long-lost feelings in me, but I can't take risks.
Spider-Man's out of the Avengers. He's not going to be an Avenger. Just, gotta get over it. J. Jonah Jameson is going to be reasonable. Seriously, a lot of the times you get the idea that Jameson hates Spider-Man because, reasons. Just because is not a decent motivation for a character's actions. Even those times when his reasons were he overshadows real heroes, inevitably Marvel ruined it by tossing in a rather selfish like my son John. Why not establish some decent reasons why Jameson dislikes superheroes in general and Spider-Man in particular? How hard would that be? So here it is. If we have to have Jameson be a selfish jackass, all indications that he's actually a jerk with a heart of gold to the contrary, then that will be the basis of his reasoning for hating Spider-Man. The reason Jameson hates Spider-Man is because Spider-Man embarrassed Jameson something awful. Not just embarrassed, but utterly humiliated without even once knowing that he did it. And Jameson is not a person to ever let a grudge go. So it's a matter of personal vengeance for Jameson. Not overshadowing the real heroes, not a dislike of show-offs, but I want to ruin him like he almost ruined me. And that said, his vendetta is going to involve getting stupid and trying to pin natural disasters and criminal activities of other people on Spider-Man. It's going to be all about digging around for dirt on Spider-Man and playing up those times when Spider-Man blows it.
Anybody care about what I want?
I do.
Shut up. Get out.
Say goodbye to most of the alternate Spider-Man. The entire alternate dimensions, the lots of Spider-Man alternates, ideas, it might have seemed cool at the beginning, but the truth is the execution, it was a mess. Not to mention all the same dimension Spider-Man alternates. So we're going to trim that down. You really wrote this word, Jack. I can say this. Precipitously. Thank you. Yay. Alrighty. Now we're going to keep Miles Morales, but he gets his own superhero identity as the Tarantula. Oh, I was trying to put this one off for a while, and I was thinking, is there any way to get around it? Should I do it? But I promised I would just read what was written in the ideas. And since we're getting rid of all the clones in the Spider-Verse, it just goes to show that Gwen Stacy is still going to be dead. The death of Gwen Stacy is such a landmark moment in the history of comics that we simply cannot reverse it or change it. Most comic book historians mark it as the point at which the Silver Age ended and the Bronze Age began after all. So sadly, we're going to keep Gwen Stacy dead. The side effect of this is that we're erasing Clone Gwen from continuity because her existence diminishes the effect Gwen's original death had on Peter. So no Gwen clone also means no sleeping with Norman Osborn. Also, no Gwen had twin children. But unfortunately, it also means no fan favorite Spider-Gwen.
No, please.
So, just remember that I'm just the narrator, ladies and gentlemen, when you put your comments below. And those are our ideas. What did you think? Did you like them? Did you hate them? What would you change in the Spider-Verse? Let us know in the comments below with a little suggestion on who to do next. Also, please click like, click share, click subscribe, and all the things that cost you nothing but help us out. And most importantly, thank you very, very much for watching.